So it's been a while since I've made a video, and this is one I've definitely been wanting to make for a while. This here is all about the your valve stems for your 5-ton. It can also be used on the M35A3 if you're getting rid of the CTIS, or your Hemet rims as well. It's just a basic turret style valve stem that I definitely do offer on the website. If you want to buy one, great, I'll gladly sell you one. However, what most people don't realize is the stock valve stem is pretty much rebuildable. As long as this main tube is intact, not broken away from the actual turret housing here, you're in good shape. So this here is actually called a tank valve. Comes off. Your rubber grommet, your hex nut, the valve stem cap, and the core, all replaceable, rebuildable. So I'm going to set this off to the side for right now. Sorry, my bench down here in the basement's a little cluttered. So what we offer on the website, not only the turret valve, but we also offer the rebuild kit. And with the rebuild kit, you're going to get the rubber grommet, which we do also offer separately. It's always a good idea if your valve stem is in good shape and you have to change out the O-ring in the tire or something like that because it went flat. Cold weather coming up here, it's very common. They're cheap enough. Go ahead and replace them. I guarantee you, you're probably not going to find these cheaper anywhere online than through us. Again, that's mvpartstore.com, military vehicle, so MV. So you're going to get the grommet, you're going to get a new tank valve, you're going to get the new valve core, you're going to get a new valve stem cap, and you'll get the new hex nut. I strongly pondered and debated with myself about including the new hex nut. Chances of the hex nut going bad, very slim. They do cost me like 89 cents to $1 each by the time I get a box of them shipped in. Is it necessary? I don't know. But we're making this a complete rebuild kit, so we're tossing everything in that can be replaced. Alright, so most likely on your truck, this is what you've got. An old ratty looking valve stem that's been painted over. It's been on the truck forever and a day. Notice I did actually, this valve stem I found in the other room, I already had the tank valve off of it, but the valve core is indeed there. So what you're going to need to do this job, you're going to need the rebuild kit. You're going to need to be able to get your 5-ton or Hemet rim apart. You're going to need a 7/16 wrench, and if you have it available, and I can't find mine right now, the valve core tool, which can be bought at any hardware store, Walmart, auto parts store, anything like that. But the valve stem cap does come with the valve core tool built on it already, just like the stock one, which of course does not. There we go. Sorry, doesn't really want to focus here. One of these days, I promise, I'm going to get a good camera. So, just got my vise mounted to the bench down here. Finally, after a long struggle. So you would go ahead, take your valve core, your original one, and we're going to do this all one-handed here. Take off that hex nut on the bottom. And obviously this would already be off because you had to take this off to get it out of the rim. So we'll get this off and get that out of there. See, it's all greasy, dirty, grimy. Why not replace that? Then you got your rubber O-ring, or grommet, not O-ring. And you can see that it's flattened out and it's kind of bent over, if you will. Don't know if this one's going to come off one-handed or not, but we're going to try. Plus they're dry. It's kind of pointless to keep the darn thing in there. Why reuse old parts? It's not easy to take your wheels off and then go through and replace everything. So yes, there is the stock unit. Your lip is flattened out and curled over. It's deformed. It's not nice. So yeah, get rid of that. So you would then go ahead, throw this into your vise. Again, doing this all one-handed, so this is loads and loads of fun. But anyway, get it locked down in your vise. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to get your tank valve out. And you're going to wrap that with just standard plumber's tape. You could probably use the pipe dope, but plumber's tape, I find it's always nice and easy to work with. So let's assume that this is all wrapped up. You're going to go ahead and thread that in there. Make sure that your plumber's tape is holding right and not coming undone. Snug it down with your fingers. Grab your wrench. Simply put your wrench on there. And of course you'd want this tightened in your vise. And just tighten down the tank valve. Don't overdo it. There's no need to overdo things here, okay? But that should seat down in there pretty good. Go ahead, turn this around the other way, and we're going to try and... Ooh, I can hold it with my pinky. Open that up a little bit. Close that in there. I'm only holding it this way for the video's sake. You're not going to want to hold it this way. You're going to want to actually lock on around the hex portion here. Alright, so there you go. Your valve core, which is not coming in to focus here very well. You can either use your valve stem cap or your cheap tool. And you're probably going to want to have this core out anyway when you're removing the tire, because you got to let all the air out of it as well. I can tell that this stem did not come out of one of those kind of tires for me. So, these things are always fun because you never know how many threads are left in there. And I don't know why. I always tend to get afraid that I'm going to lose one. What's the point in that? So there, your old valve core. Toss that off to the side. Take your new valve core. Drop that down in there. This thing is horrible at focus. For what it's worth, I'm actually doing this all, rebuilding this thing through the lens of my camera, as I'm sure you can tell with how great and shaky it is. No, I swear I haven't been drinking. Alright, you don't have to go too crazy on the tightness. I have already seen these little fingers on the valve stem cap break off when some people get a little crazy. So you don't lose it. Go ahead and thread that on there. There you go. Now, we'll simply see if I can remember how the heck I did this in the first place. Hold that one-handed. There we go. Out it comes. Promise I will redo this video with somebody else filming me so that it isn't all Blair Witch looking. Okay. Take your new grommet. Make sure you put it on there the right way. You'll notice there's a step in there. You want the larger rim towards the actual valve stem because that has to go through the hole. So just simply press that down there. And you're going to want to push it all the way down. Get that seated on there just right. Alright. Voila. It's on there. And for the sake of not losing it, take your hex nut. Again, with that lip right there. Not coming through on the camera very well. But there is a lip there. You can kind of see it. That lip will go towards the valve stem itself. That way you do not over crush your grommet. Trying to do this one-handed is awesome. Sorry about that, folks. I'm sure the video quality here has really gotten some stomachs turning, so that's awesome. But there we are. Total video length is 10 minutes as of this point. So you can realistically rebuild your valve stem in about 5 minutes or less if you're not worried about taking a video of it like I was. This valve stem here will last just as long as the stock one did, and it's half the price to rebuild it versus buying a new one. And again, we will sell you the complete kit with your grommet, your hex nut, the valve core, your tank valve that comes with a cap on it, and the special valve stem cap that has the valve core tool built on it. Again, just exactly like the original. So it'll be everything you need to go right back to original condition. But make sure that your main body here, because this is actually welded in to the main body of the turret valve, you need to make sure that this is in good shape, that there's no breakage down in here, that your threads at the end where the valve core comes out, that those threads are good, and then you're fine. Another problem that does tend to happen, I have had this happen to me when we were mounting up tires, a friend of mine and I, when he went to put the tire on the front of the truck, somehow, some way, the the tank valve here, he hit the hub, the brake drum, and snapped this right off. Alright, that happens. Go ahead, put this in the vise, get an easy out, and that tank valve will come right out. Next time, just be a little more careful. So, there you have it. That is our 5-ton turret valve stem rebuild kit. It can be found on the website www.mvpartstore, as in military vehicle part store. You can find this kit and a lot of other great products. If there's something you're looking for that we don't have, please send us an email and we'll let you know if we can find it. Thanks for watching.